Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, Trump just unveiled a really good new policy, which is no tax on overtime. And this is really big because this is another tax policy, another help with the economy that people are suffering from. And it's something that is going to encourage more and more working class Americans, people Trump needs, to vote for him. The Harris campaign has already called it a snake oil salesman tactic, his latest one. Which is funny because in a week we'll see that she'll steal it because it's such a good idea. What he wants from this, not only the relief from taxation, but also the incentivization to work harder, which is something that something that this country has totally neglected, is the concept that hard work should be rewarded. We're at a point where the government basically tells people, your incentivization to work is to be able to feed yourself to stay alive. That should be good enough. And that's not the case. That doesn't work because eventually people just give up and go on the welfare state we have. And then what I'm going to say is kicking people off of that welfare state without the ability to work towards something and for something is equally as idiotic as having it. So that total, the Republicans are saying, we want to dismantle it without a plan of action to incentivize people to work by rewarding them for their work, that won't work. So Trump's plan here is the first step in a way to revitalize the American spirit of work, of reward for your work, and moving in that right direction. So people will get their paycheck and it'll be like double what they usually get, because it'll be, maybe time and a half for overtime and then no taxes. People will work longer hours, harder. They'll want to work more. And what's going to happen is Harris is going to steal this one too, like the no tax on tips. And we're going to have this race to the bottom on taxation, which is awesome. This is exactly what we should have. If Harris wants to play this game of chicken, I think Trump believes it. I don't think Harris does, but I think that every time Harris bids higher by stealing his policies, Trump will bid even higher. And he'll mean it. He really, really wants to help the American people, the working class. And so even suggesting things like totally getting rid of income tax, which never should have been a thing. It never should have been allowed in the first place. And then they said it'd be temporary. And as we know with things in government, it has not been temporary. So he's talked about getting rid of income tax and replacing it with a sales tax. And what you would do is you'd have a sales tax, 10, 15% or something, which sounds ridiculous, right? However, when you look at it, what happens is you get your money that you worked for. And then if you invest it, nothing happens. If you choose to spend it, then you'll get taxed on it. So you'll get taxed on the money you possess once you actually do something with it that's deserving of any amount of tax, which is brilliant because it encourages investing then, because you have a lot more money to invest because it's not already been taxed. And the government does not need all these taxes. We don't even use the taxes we have. Like most of the money we spend is just printed. We print the money to pay for these programs, which we don't need in the first place, taking care of everybody in the world and anything we can think of. No audit, no oversight, nothing like that. That's why Trump putting Elon in this government efficiency committee and having RFK in there, maybe putting things on a blockchain, would be amazing and allow us to sort out the money problem, stop the printing, which lowers the inflation, stop taking in as much taxes because we're not wasting as much money. Because right now taxes are just an illusion. They're designed to keep you poor because they want you to be dependent on the government, on the system. They never want you getting ahead. So that's why you pay your taxes. It's not, the money's not going to something. The purpose is the money's being taken away from you. That's what it really is all about. But what Trump will do here is he'll lower people's taxes so they can actually start getting ahead, moving up. Maybe they can actually, for once in their lives, outpace things getting more expensive. Maybe they can make more money than things are getting more expensive, like housing and food, childcare costs, medical bills. Maybe we can actually move up in the world. What an amazing novel concept. And then when people have hope, they have hope that life can get better if they put in the effort, then they will. then they will. Because we know from psychology that burnout, which is what most people are feeling now, comes from the lowering of the result that you expected. So you expected a high result, you didn't get the result you expected, and then you feel burnt out. And it doesn't matter the scale of the thing. It could be dealing with a multi-million-dollar contract, or it could be something as simple as wanting to do a couple more push-ups and feel better after it. If you do the thing and you don't get the result you expected, then you feel burnt out. And that's what the American people are feeling, is they're feeling burnt out because no matter what they do, they save, they invest, they do things right, they follow the system, they go to college, they get married, they have a good community. No matter what they do, they're always slipping further and further behind. And it's not at all their fault. It's the result of the system that's leaving them behind, which means there's nothing they can do about it, no matter how hard they try. And yes, people try harder than others, and they should, but ultimately, there's only so much you can control. Like, you can't control the weather, you can't control the state of the world, you can't control how the government's going to ruin the economy. That's not in your control, except for to vote for Trump so that doesn't happen. Because talk about the difference in investing is Trump wants people to have more money in their pocket, to invest, to spend. That keeps the economy going, raises it up. It'll be pumping again. We'll be manufacturing again, drilling again. But what Harris wants to do is she wants to put taxes on unearned gains or unrealized gains, which all that's going to do is incentivize people to pull their money out of the stock market, because they're going to get taxed on money they don't have. So you invest all your money. You don't want to sell your stock off, because if you sell it off, you'll lose money wherever you're at, because where you think it's going, or maybe you're low for the year. You'll have to sell off your stock to give money to the government for money you haven't made yet. And so people will just pull their money out of the stock market, all the big whales, all the large investors. And what does that do when, most of the big multimillionaire billionaires pull all their money out of the stock market because they can't just shill up, hundreds of millions of dollars to the government every year that they don't have? The stock market crashes and it never recovers. And all your investments, all the money you put in the stock market will become worthless, and it will never recover, because it's not going through a normal market cycle or dip. It's going through controlled strangulation of the market, to the point where people will never invest in something where they can't make money off of it. Or in fact, a lot of times will lose money off of it, because the stock market's a gamble a lot of times for these people, what they're investing in. And so it's not worth that risk. They'll find something else. They'll go to the Chinese stock market. They'll figure something out. But guess what? You'll get left behind. You'll be footing the bill. So any of these tax policies that Trump's putting in place is amazing. Move towards a simplified tax system, a lowered tax system. You can, if the government doesn't have enough money, you can raise taxes or lower spending. Well, what do you think we need to do? Lower spending. Who wants more spending? Even the conservatives now, who for the past couple decades have been wanting to pump money into the military, have started to say, let's spend less on the military. We don't need to, or at least make it so that the money is being used properly. We're not spending $300 for a hammer, $2,000 for a toilet. Automate it, make it on a blockchain, simplify it, have some accountability. Pentagon's never, been able to have an effective audit, because they just waste money or it goes missing, trillions of dollars. So figure that stuff out first, and then give the money back to the American people. That's what Trump needs to do. That's what he wants to do. So I have faith in his system. This is what I want to see from him. More policies, more things that people actually care about, and move in the direction of, I will do this and this and this, and we'll start going, rolling the ball to get rid of taxes in general. Let's do that. And if the Harris campaign wants to play chicken, then let's play chicken. So that's my thoughts on this. I'm really happy to see this. This is a great policy, and I'm looking very much forward to what else he has in store as we get close to the campaign. But this is definitely a winner. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one.